family, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your continued support since day one, or whatever or whatever day that you decided to join this family. Thank you so much. And for those who are new here, my name is Rupumelo Laura, and in this space we talk about life, wellness, and everything else in between. And yeah, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with whoever you want this video to be seen by. So to the business of the day, this is that video I said I have to redo again, and we're talking about being present, why it's important, how to be more present, how to see if you're not being present, and all that. And I decided to make this video because it's such a buzzword. Everyone keeps talking about being present, how to be being present, not being present, and I thought I should sit down and talk about it as well, right? And let's start with my own story. This was a day where I wasn't being present with I wasn't being present at that moment, and the only thing that made me realize it is because it was in such a big magnitude. It was a big thing for someone, even myself, not to see. So last year, end of the academic year, I just finished my final paper, right? I come back home, I eat, I rest, and then later in the afternoon when I woke up, I decided to pack my bags. That time I'm due to leave in 10 days from that time. I decided to come back home and pack my bags to leave. What was gonna happen before I leave? There's a lot someone can do after finishing the academic year, after finishing your exams. You need to rest, you need to reflect, you need to go out. All those things that can happen. And I decided to pack my bags. That's when I saw, no man, something is wrong. And I stopped myself from packing, but only after I created enough mess for me not to finish. But yeah, story for another day. Let's get to the business of the day. Being present. What is it? The definition of being present is being focused and engaged in here and now, not distracted or mentally absent. I hope you understood that properly. So why is being present important? Why do people stress they need to be present? Number one, which is the very most important one, is that you have power over now. If you're feeling something, you can feel it and change it now. You have power over now. You are fully aware of what's happening in and around you at the present time. And so that's what you can be able to control. You can't change something that happened, something that will happen, although you can prepare, but you only have power over now. If there's something that's triggering you, you can feel it now and be able to address it now, right? And also because it is less mental work. Just be present, just be here. Sit with me, interact with me. You don't have to be thinking about anything. Being present is less mental work because you are just there, just living. It's less mental work. Freeing your brain, because our brain has a lot of work to do, right? Sometimes just let it rest. Be present. Okay. So there's I read an introduction of this book, right? And it says the human brain has 3 time zones: the past, present, and the future. And at any given moment, at any given time, our brain is either jumping around. It's either in the past, in the future, or being present. And rarely, it's rarely in the present. It's either in the past or in the future. And that is the cause, simply put, that is the cause of, if you're always in the future, it causes anxiety. In the past, it causes depression. Although there's a lot more that goes into that, but simply put, that's what he said it causes. That's what he says it does. So we have to be more present because of that. You have to be aware of your mental state. Moving on, why is it hard to be present? The first one is that because it is an escape from reality. If we're being honest, reality is not always pleasant, and so we want to like sort of maybe create a fantasy or a world where you just live there where things are fine, or you just go on autopilot, so you're not being present because whatever is happening here is not nice. Guys, what is nice about I don't know, things like whatever's happening in South Africa or whatever's happening in one's life? Like, reality is not always nice, and so we just escape from it by doing whatever. If you've read the story, like there's this short story we read back in school, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and I think I relate to Walter now. I relate to him. This guy was just a loser, for lack of a better word, and yeah, he was just like, he was being everything, things were not fine there by his life. So he had his own secret world where he was a hero, where he was, you know, all these nice things that he ever wanted to be. That's one of the biggest thing of challenges of being present, because things are not always looking fine, and so we would want to create a world where we are fine. We would want to remember the great times. So another thing, that's another thing, like we always think of the great times instead of being present now. We always think about, like, always throwing back to when things were nice, throwing back to this and that, and so we're not being present, and we run the risk of not creating memories of now because we're thinking of the great times back then, right? And the last one is because our brain, it's because of our brain. Like, that's just it. Our brain is, apparently, I get it, you know, right? See, the brain is big, like it has so much capacity and so much information. So at any given time, if you're not intentionally working on something, your brain will want to work on something, right? Like, there's so much information around. And also, those who know, right, see, like, there's so much thoughts and just random thoughts flying around our mind every day. And so let's say you're sitting in the park, your brain will want to pick one of them and work on them, or just a memory, or just whatever. So you're not being present because, like, you have so much capacity, so much information in your mind that you'll always want to digest, that you'll always want to think of, that you run the risk of not being present at that time. What are some of the things that you should look out for to see if you're not being present, or to help you like be more present in what you're doing? Number one is when you're not interested in doing stuff because they seem boring. You know, from this other video, there's this other video I posted a while ago of You Not Listening, from that book. But if things don't seem interesting enough, you probably are the problem, because things are nice. I'm joking, maybe some things are not nice, but if you're constantly not interested in doing things because they seem boring, maybe it's because you're not there. If you want to do this, you're thinking of something else, and if you're there, you're thinking of something else. So if you're thinking of doing something else while you're doing this thing, obviously it's gonna seem boring, because you always think the grass is greener that side, right? And that also leads to the second one, which is unfinished task. Like, if you don't finish what you're doing, it's a sign that you're not being present, because why don't you finish what you started here? You're always going for something else, and going for something else, and going for something else, thinking that other things are more interesting than what you're doing. Or like, when you're doing something here, you're thinking of another thing, right? And even if you do finish, chances are it's not like the best you could give, because you were not there, like you were not giving it your all. Whatever number that is that you daydream. If you're always lost in your own dreams, your own world of your own, it's a sign that you're not being present, right? Another one to add on to this before moving on to ways in which one can be more present is that you have a poor recall of things that happened like a few moments ago. Like, you don't remember what happened, or you have a poor recall. Like, you don't remember how things made you feel, or how others were receiving you, or things that are happening around you. Like, you don't remember really well because you weren't there. Probably because maybe you were distracted by too much technology. That can also really contribute to not being present, because people are always social media, people are always on a world that's not really real, unless if you work there, social media is not really real. And so that could be one of the signs that you're not being present, because you're always somewhere else. Moving on to my favorite part of the video, by the way, like how to be more present with yourself. I'm saying this because I have practiced it and seems to work really well. So the first one is to remove unnecessary thoughts, like declutter your mind the same way you clean up your table or the same way you clean up your room, so that there's fresh air coming in, you know. Like clean up your mind, declutter your mind, remove unnecessary thoughts. You can do this by one, journaling down, or like writing it down, or talking to someone about it. We all know that in your mind, like when you're still talking about things with yourself, like it's always like this. Like things in our mind are always like this. They seem so big and complicated and like this huge mountain. But if you let it out, you'll see, well, no man, this isn't such a big deal. Or you even find solutions when you let it out and you arrange it, right? So that's number one. Number two, which is something we spoke on previously, is that you should remove distractions, that being social media. Social media is not real, and I read somewhere about one of the downside of social media is that it gives you an illusion. Is it an illusion? It gives you an illusion that you're supposed to be somewhere else, doing something else with other people other than what you currently are, like where you currently are, right? So if I'm here seeing other people on a vacation, or seeing other people doing nice things, or being with other people, obviously I'll suffer. Well, like that's, even though I don't act on it or don't give it too much thought, that's what it does, and which is not nice, because you're not being present, you're not being where you are, right? And another thing is that be intentional about the things that you do. Know the value that things add in your life, like certain activities or events add in your life. That way you'll be more intentional in doing it. If I have to meet up with a friend, I know that I'm here watering this friendship. I'm here like a growing, or what's this, friendships and all that, support system and all that. So if you're intentional about that, if you're intentional about meeting your friend, if you're intentional about like constant communication, you know the value that it adds, and so you'll be more present. You won't always be checking your phone, or always baking out on people, or always like doing like into the snacks. You'll be present in the things that you do if you know their importance in your life. Basically, don't do things J. Being more intentional really helps you being more present in things. Last but not least, I'm sure you will receive this preaching from church, is that you should forgive people, right? Like remove people from your heart, remove people from your mind. That way you'll be more present. Like if you're holding a grudge on me, at me, and you see me somewhere, like you won't be nice. That way your day will be ruined, you'll be grumpy the whole day. Or you see me succeeding, like it will affect your mood, or it will affect your day. So if you forgive people, you'll be able to be more present in your own self and the people around you, right? Thank you. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you for coming to the end of the video, and I hope that you will mind your mind, like you'll be more present with yourself and the people around you. And yeah, that's it for now. I love you. Bye.